Okay, here we are inside the Cape Henry 21 A1, and just doing a quick run through of the power system that I've installed. Upgrade, not yet complete, but it's going to take a couple videos to do it all, so figured I'd do a messy one and a clean one. We have the Renogy Rover 40 amp charge controller, and it's wired back to the batteries, and it has a place for the solar panel to charge, plug into, all Anderson connectors, and a place for a load. These two panel markers here are where the 110 outlet's going to go, and the button for the inverter that I'm just temped in now. You can see it's down there on the floor, and the button is also kicking around loose. It turns on the inverter, but that's going to go in there eventually, along with the 110 panel. It's the master switch for the new batteries, and then wiring all comes through over there. And let's see if I can switch around. So on underneath the V-berth, we've got two 230 amp hour lithium ion batteries, 12 volt, one on each side. Just for balance, we're using Victron shunt. Connect them all up with great big wires, and then yeah, so it goes to the back, goes to the switch. Everything goes to the switch first, and then I've got two bus bars and 200 amp fuse that goes to 2000 watt inverter, and that runs on the remote switch. And then the 50 amp fuse below it is the 200 watt fuse, so of course feeds the big wires. Comes right off the bus bar right into the inverter. And then the 50 amp fuse actually is the wiring that comes in from the solar panel, from the solar charge controller. And then that goes right through and it connects to the battery on this side. So positive on one side, and then it connects there to negative, and then the negative on the other side, so that it feeds both batteries at once. And that's the lithium iron setup. And then we are reusing, crawl in the other small space here. We have two 35 amp hour lead acid batteries, one on either side. That came with the boat originally. We have a lot of wiring that needs tidying up, but so we have one here. We have another 50 amp fuse feeding the bus bars, and then everything but the chart plotter in the boat is tied to the new lithium ion, so that'll go through these bus bars and that 50 amp fuse. And then the two lead acid batteries run the chart plotters, which is over there. There's one inside and another one out through the bulkhead. And it feeds this panel, just feeds the chart plotter fuse on that. And the lead acid is charged through that little solar controller there, and a 35 watt solar panel on the deck, which does fine. And then also it's also wired into the motor, because the Tohatsu 6 will give a little charge too. So that's it. That's a lot of wires for a boat that's supposed to run on the wind, but yeah, it ran pretty good so far. Of course, I need to neaten everything up, but that's my new inductive stove. And then I have a electric kettle, and everything runs off of the outlets there now, but I'm going to put real outlets in later. Okay, that's how she goes. The stereo is not hooked up because I've had the boat 3 years now, and I have never turned it on. So, yeah, that's the stereo there, but I've never used it, so that's probably all going to come out. All the 6 speakers and the stereo. All right,